Hi Marcela, it's me, your favorite 50 Shades of Grey reader. I'm going to read to you chapter 11 from book 2. I don't have any exciting introduction for this chapter, so I'm just going to say if you're on your way to work, I hope you have a great day at work, and if you're on your way home, have an awesome evening. Okay, here we go. Chapter 11, book 2, 50 Shades of Grey. With easy grace, Christian taps the white ball so that it glides across the table, kisses the black, and oh so slowly the black rolls teeters on the edge and finally drops in the top right pocket of the billiard table. Damn. He stands and his mouth twists in triumphant "Oh, I so own you" steel smile. Putting down his cue, he saunters casually toward me, all tousled hair, jeans, and white t-shirt. He doesn't look like a CEO. He looks like a bad boy from the wrong side of town. Holy cow, he is so fucking sexy. You're not going to be sore loser, are you? He murmurs, barely containing his grin. Depends on how hard you spank me, I whisper, holding onto my cue for support. He takes my cue and puts it to one side, hooks his finger in the top of my shirt and pulls me toward him. Well, let's count the misdemeanors, Miss Steele. He counts on his long fingers. 1, making me jealous of my own staff. 2, arguing with me about working. And 3, waving your delectable derriere at me for the last 20 minutes. His eyes glow a soft gray with excitement, and leaning down, he rubs his nose against mine. I want you to take your jeans and this fetching shirt off, he said. He plants a feathery soft kiss on my lips, wanders nonchalantly over the door, and locks it. When he turns and gazes at me, his eyes are burning. I stand paralyzed like a complete zombie, my heart pounding, my blood pumping, not actually able to move a muscle. In my mind, all I can think is, this is for him. The thought repeating like a mantra over and over again. Clothes, Anastasia. You appear to still be wearing them. Take them off, or I will do it for you. You do it. I finally find my voice, and it sounds low and heated. Christian grins. Oh, Miss Steele, it's a dirty job, but I think I can rise to the challenge. You normally rise to most challenges, Mr. Grey. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he smirks. Why, Miss Steele, whatever do you mean? On his way over to me, he paused at the small desk with built-in bookshelves. Reaching over, he picks up a plastic ruler. His eyes, he holds each end and flexes it, his eyes not leaving mine. Holy shit, his weapon of choice. My mouth goes dry. Suddenly, I'm hot and bothered and damp in all the right places. Only Christian can turn me on with just a look and a flex of a ruler. He slips it into his back pocket of his jeans and ambles towards me, eyes dark and full of promise. Without saying a word, he drops to his knees in front of me and starts to undo my laces, quickly and efficiently dragging both my Converses and socks off. I lean over the side of the billiard table so I don't fall. Gazing down at him, he undoes my laces. I marvel at the depth of feeling that I have for this man. I love him. He grabs my hips, slips his fingers in the waistband of my jeans, and undoes the button and the zipper. He peers up through his long lashes, grinning his most salacious grin as he slowly peels off my jeans. I step out of them, glad that I'm wearing these pretty little lace panties, and he grabs the back of my legs and runs his nose along the apex of my thighs. I practically melt. I want to be quite rough with you, Anna, and you have to tell me to stop if it's too much, he breathes. Oh my. He kisses me. I moan softly. Safe word? I murmur. No safe word. Just tell me to stop, and I'll stop. Understand? He kisses me again, nuzzling me. Oh, that feels good. He stands up, his stare intense. Answer me, he orders in his voice velvet soft. Yes, I understand. I'm puzzled by his insistence. You've been dropping hints and giving mixed signals all day, Anastasia, he says. You said you were worried I lost my edge. I'm not sure what you meant by that, and I don't know how serious you were, but we're going to find out. I don't want to go back into the playroom yet, so we can try this now, but if you don't like it, you must promise to tell me. A burning intensity born of anxiety replaces his earlier cockiness. Whoa, don't be anxious, Christian. I'll tell you. No safe word, I reiterate to reassure him. We're lovers, Anastasia. Lovers don't need safe words. He frowns. Do they? I guess not, I murmured. How do I know? I promise. He searches my face for any clue that I might lack the courage of my convictions, and I'm nervous but excited too. I'm much happier to do this knowing that he loves me. It's very simple to me, and right now I don't want to overthink it. A slow smile stretches across his face, and he starts to unbutton my shirt, his deft fingers making short work of it. Though he doesn't take it off, he leans over and picks up the cue. Oh fuck, what's he gonna do with that? A frisson of fear runs through me. You play well, Miss Steele. I must say I'm surprised. Why didn't you sink the black one? My fear forgotten, I pout, wondering why the hell he should be surprised. Sexy, arrogant bastard. My inner goddess is limbering up in the background, doing her floor exercises, a great wide smile on her face. I position the white ball. Christian strolls back on the table and stands right behind me. As I lean over to take my shot, he places his hand on my right thigh and runs his fingers up and down my leg, up to my behind and back again, slowly stroking me. I'm going to miss if you keep doing that, I whisper, closing my eyes and relishing the feel of his hands on me. I don't care if you hit or miss, baby. I just wanted to see you like this, partially dressed, stretched out across my billiard table. Do you have any idea how hot you look at this moment? I flush, and my inner goddess grabs a rose between her teeth and starts to tango. Taking a deep breath, I try to ignore him and line up my shot. It's impossible. He caresses my behind over and over again. Top left, I murmur, then hit the white ball. He smacks me hard, squarely on my backside. It's so unexpected I yelp. The white hits the black, which bounces off the cushion wide of the pocket. Christian caresses my behind again. Oh, I think you need to try that again, he whispers. You should concentrate, Anastasia. I'm panting now, excited by his game. He strolls to the end of the table, sets up the black ball again, and runs the white ball back down the table to me. He looks so carnal, dark-eyed with lascivious smile. How could I resist him? I catch the ball and line it up, ready to strike again. Uh-oh, he admonishes. Just wait. Okay, he just loves prolonging the agony. He wanders back and stands behind me. I close my eyes once more, as he strokes my left thigh this time, then fondles my backside. Take aim, he breathes. I can't help my moan as desire twists and turns inside me. And I really try to think about where I should hit the black with the white. I shift slightly to my right, and he follows me. I bend over the table once more. Using every last vestige of inner strength, which is diminished considerably since I know what will happen if I strike the white ball, I take aim and hit the white again. Christian smacks me hard once more. Ow! I miss again. Oh no, I groan. One more, baby. And if you miss this time, I'm really going to let you have it. What? Have what? He sets up the black ball once more and walks achingly slow back to me until he's standing behind me, caressing my backside once more. You can do it, he coaxes. Oh, not when I'm this distracted, can I? I push my behind back against his hand, and he smacks me lightly. Eager, Miss Steele? He murmurs. Yes, I want you. Well, let's get rid of these. He gently slides my panties down my thigh and off. I can see what he does with them. I can't see what he does with them, but he leaves me feeling exposed as he plants a soft kiss on each cheek. Take the shot, baby. I want to whimper. This is so not going to happen. I know I'm going to miss. I line up the white, hit it, and in my impatience, miss the black ball entirely. I wait for the blow, but it doesn't come. Instead, he leans right over me, flattening me against the table, taking the cue out of my hands and rolls it to the side of the cushion. I feel him hard against my backside. You missed, he says softly in my ear. My cheek is pressed against the table. Put your hands flat on the table. I do as he says. Good. I'm going to spank you now, and next time, maybe you won't, maybe you won't. He shifts, so he's standing to my left side, his erection against my hip. I groan, and my heart leaps into my mouth. My breath comes in short pants, and hot and heavy excitement courses through my veins. Gently, he caresses my behind and curls his other hand around the nape of my neck, his fingers tightening around my hair at the nape, his elbow at my back, holding me down. I am completely helpless. Open your legs, he murmurs, and for a moment I hesitate, and he smacks me hard with the ruler. The noise is harsher than the sting, and it takes me by surprise. I gasp, and he hits me again. Legs, he orders. Open my legs. I open my legs, panting. The ruler strikes again. Ow, it stings, but it cracks across my skin sounds worse than it feels. I close my eyes and absorb the pain. It's not so bad, and Christian's breathing becomes harsher. He hits me again, and I moan. I'm not sure how many more strokes I can bear, but hearing him, knowing how turned on he is, feeds my arousal and my willingness to continue. I'm crossing to the dark side, a place in my psyche I don't know well, but I've visited before in the playroom. The ruler strikes once more, and I moan loudly. Christian groans in response. He hits me again, and once more. Harder this time, and I wince. Stop! The word is out of my mouth, for I'm even aware that I've said it. Christian drops the ruler immediately and releases me. Enough, he whispers. Yes. I want to fuck you now, he says, his voice strained. Yes, I murmur with longing. He undoes his fly as I lie panting on the table, knowing that he's going to be rough. I marvel once more at how I've managed, and yes, enjoyed what was done to me at this point. It's so dark, but so him. He eases 2 fingers inside me and moves them in a circular motion. The feeling is exquisite. Closing my eyes, I revel in the sensation. I hear the telltale rip of the foil, then he's standing behind me, between my legs, pushing them wider apart. Slowly he sinks into me, feeling me. I hear him groan with pure pleasure, and it stirs my soul. He grasps my hips firmly, eases out of me again, and this time slams back into me, causing me to cry out. He's still for a moment. Again? He asks softly. Yes, I'm fine. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I'm fine. Lose yourself. Take me with you, I murmur breathlessly. He moans low in his throat, eases out of me once more, then slams into me again, and repeats this over and over, slowly, deliberately, a punishing, brutal, heavy rhythm. Oh, fucking my. My insides begin to quicken. He feels it too, and increases the rhythm, pushing me higher, harder, faster, and I surrender, exploding around him, a draining, soul-grabbing orgasm that leaves me spent and exhausted. I'm vaguely aware that Christian, too, is letting go, calling my name, his fingers digging into my hips, and then he stills and collapses on me. We sink to the floor, and he cradles me in his arms. Thank you, baby, he breathes, covering my upturned face in soft, feather-like kisses. I open my eyes and gaze up at him, and he wraps his arms tighter around me. Your cheek is pink your pink is cheek from the table, he murmurs, rubbing my face tenderly. How is that? His eyes are wide and curious. Teeth quenchingly good, I mutter. I like it rough, Christian. And I like it gentle, too. I like that it's with you. He closes his eyes and hugs me even tighter. Geez, I'm tired. You never fail, Anna. You're beautiful, bright, challenging, fun, and sexy. And I thank divine providence every day that it was you who came in to interview me and not Catherine Kavanaugh. He kisses my hair. I smile and yawn against his chest. I'm wearing you out, he continues. Come, bath, then bed. We were both in Christian's bath, facing each other, chin deep in foam. The sweet scent of jasmine enveloping us. Christian is massaging my feet, one at a time. It feels so good it should be illegal. Can I ask you something? I murmur. Of course, anything, Anna. You know that. I take a deep breath and sit up, flinching only slightly. Tomorrow, when I go to work, can Sawyer just deliver me to the front door, then pick me up at the end of the day? Please, Christian, please? I plead. His hand still at his brow creases. I thought we agreed, he grumbles. Please, I beg. What about lunchtime? I'll make myself something to take from here so I don't have to go out. He kisses my instep. I find it very difficult to say no to you, he mutters as if he senses this is failing on his part. You won't go out? No. Okay. I beam at him. Thank you. And lean up into my knees and sloshing water everywhere and kiss him. You're most welcome, Miss Steele. How's your behind? Sore, but not too bad. The water is soothing. I'm glad you told me to stop, he says, gazing at me. So is my behind. He grins. I stretch out in bed, so tired. It's only 10:30, but it feels like 3 in the morning. This has to be one of those most exhausting weekends I've ever had. Didn't Miss Acton provide any nightwear? Christian asks, his voice laced with disapproval as he stares down at me. I have no idea. I like wearing new t-shirts, I mumble sleepily. His face softens, and he leans over and kisses my forehead. I need to work, but I don't want to leave you alone. Can I use your laptop to log into the office? Will I disturb you if I work here? It's not my laptop, I drift. The alarm clicks on, startling me awake with the traffic news. Christian is still asleep beside me. Rubbing my eyes, I glance at the clock. 6:30. Too early. It's raining outside for the first time in ages, and the light is muted and mellow. I'm cozy and comfortable in this vast modern monolith with Christian at my side. I stretch and turn to the delicious man beside me. His eyes spring open, and he blinks sleepily. Good morning, I smile and caress his face, leaning down to kiss him. Good morning, baby. I usually wait before the alarm goes off, he murmurs in wonder. It's set so early. That is it, Miss Steele, Christian grins. I have to get up. He kisses me, and he's up and out of bed. I flop back down the pillows. Wow, waking up on a school day next to Christian Grey. How did this all happen? I close my eyes and doze. Come on, sleepyhead, get up. Christian leans over me. He's shaved, clean, fresh. He smells so good. In a crisp white shirt and black suit, no tie. The CEO is back. What? He asks. I wish you'd come back to bed. His lips part, surprised by my come on, and he smiles almost shyly. You are insatiable, Miss Steele. As much as the idea appeals to me, I have an 8:30 meeting, so I have to go shortly. Oh, I've slept for another hour or so. Shit. I leap out of bed, and much to Christian's amusement. I shower and dress quickly, wearing the clothes I set out yesterday. A fitted gray pencil skirt, pale gray silk shirt, and high-heeled black pumps, all care of my new wardrobe. I brush my hair and carefully put it up, then wander out to the great room, not really knowing what to expect, how I'm going to get to work. Christian is sipping coffee at the breakfast bar. Mrs. Jones is in the kitchen making pancakes and bacon. You look lovely, Christian murmurs, unwrapping my arm around me. He kisses me under my ear. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch Mrs. Jones' smile. I flush. Good morning, Miss Steele, she says as she places pancakes and bacon in front of me. Well, thank you. Good morning, I mumble. Geez, I could get used to this. Mr. Gray says you'd like to take lunch with you to work. What would you like to eat? I glance at Christian, who is trying very hard not to smirk. I narrow my eyes at him. A sandwich? Salad? I really don't mind, I beam Mrs. Jones. I'll rustle up a packed lunch for you, ma'am. Please, Mrs. Jones, call me Anna. Anna, she smiles and turns to make me tea. Wow, this is so cool. I turn and cock my head at Christian, challenging him to go on and accuse me of flirting with Mrs. Jones. I have to go, baby. Taylor will come back and drop you off at work with Sawyer. Only to the door. Yes, only to the door. Careful rolls his eyes. Be careful, though. I glance around and spy Taylor standing in the entranceway. Christian stands and kisses me and grasps my hand, grasps my chin. Laters, baby. Have a good day at the office, dear, I call after him. He turns and flashes his beautiful smile, then he's gone. Mrs. Jones hands me a cup of tea, and suddenly I feel awkward with it just the two of us here. How long have you worked for Mr. Gray? I ask. I thought I should make some kind of conversation. 4 years or so, she says pleasantly, as she sets about packing my lunch. You know, I can do that. I muttered, embarrassed that she should be doing this for me. Eat your breakfast, Anna. This is what I do. I enjoy it. It's nice to look after someone other than Mr. Taylor and Mr. Gray. She smiles very sweetly at me. My cheeks flush with pleasure, and I want to bombard this woman with questions. She must know so much about 50, and although her manner is warm and friendly, it's also very professional. I know I'll only embarrass both of us if I start quizzing her, so I finish my breakfast in a reasonably comfortable silence, punctuated only by questions on my general food preferences. 25 minutes later, Sawyer appears at the entrance to the great room. I have brushed my teeth, and I'm waiting to go, clutching my brown paper lunch bag. I can't even remember my mom doing this for me. Sawyer and I head to the first floor via the elevator. He's very taciturn, giving nothing away. Taylor is waiting in the Audi, and I climb into the rear passenger seat when Sawyer opens the door. Good morning, Taylor, I say brightly. Miss Steele, he smiles. Taylor, I'm sorry about yesterday and my inappropriate remarks. I hope I didn't get you into trouble. Taylor frowns with amusement at me from the rearview mirror as he pulls into the Seattle traffic. Miss Steele, I'm rarely in trouble, he says reassuringly. Oh, good. Maybe Christian didn't tell him off. Just me then, I think sourly. I'm glad to hear it, Taylor. I smile. Jack gazes at me, assessing my appearance as I make my way to the desk. Morning, Anna. Good weekend? Yes, thanks. You? It was good. Get settled in. I have work for you to do. I nod and sit down at my computer. It seems like years since I was at work. I switched on my computer and fired up an email program. Of course, there's an email from Christian Gray, boss, to Anastasia Steele. Good morning, Miss Steele. I just want to say thank you for the wonderful weekend in spite of all the drama. I hope you never leave, ever. And just to remind you that the news of SIP is embargoed for 4 weeks. Delete this email as soon as you've read it. Yours, Christian Gray, CEO, Gray Enterprises Holdings, Inc., and your boss's boss's boss. Hope I never leave. Does he want me to move in? Holy Moses. I barely know the man. I press delete. From Anastasia Steele, subject, bossy, to Christian Gray. Dear Mr. Gray, are you asking me to move in with you? And of course I remembered that the evidence of your epic stalking capabilities is embargoed for another 4 weeks. Do I make the check out to coping together and send it to your dad? Please don't delete this email. Please respond to it. You should write X's for kisses. Anastasia Still, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. Anna! Jack makes me jump. Yes, I flush, and Jack frowns at me. Everything okay? Sure. I scramble up and take my notebook in his office. Good. As you probably remember, I'm going to that fiction symposium in New York on Thursday. I have tickets and reservations, but I'd like you to come with me. To New York? Yes. We'll need to go Wednesday and stay overnight. I think you'll find it very educational. His eyes darken as he says this, but his smile is polite. Would you make the necessary arrangements? And book an additional hotel room where I'm staying. I think Sabrina, my previous PA, left all the details handy somewhere. Okay. I smile wanly at Jack. Crap. I wander back to my desk. This is not going to go down well with 50. But the fact is, I want to go. It sounds like a real opportunity, and I'm sure I can keep Jack at arm's length. Back at my desk, there's a response from Christian. From Christian Gray. Subject, me bossy? To Anastasia Still. Yes, please. Christian Gray, CEO, Gray Enterprises, Incorporated. He does want me to move in. Oh, Christian, it's too soon. I put my head in my hands to try and recover my wits. That's all I need after my extraordinary weekend. I haven't had a moment to myself to think through this and understand all that I have experienced and discovered these last 2 days. From Anastasia Steele, subject splenisms, to Christian Gray. Christian, what happened to walking before we run? Can we talk about this tonight, please? I've been asked to go to a conference in New York on Thursday. It means an overnight stay on Wednesday. Just thought you should know. Anna. A.X. Anna Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Gray, subject, what? To Anastasia Steele, yes, let's talk this evening. Are you going on your own? Christian Gray, CEO, Gray Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. From Anastasia Steele, no boldy shouty capitals on a Monday morning. To Christian Gray, can we talk about this tonight? Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde. From Christian Gray, you haven't seen Shorty yet. To Anastasia Steele, tell me, is it with that sleazeball you work with? Then the answer is no, over my dead body. Christian Gray. My heart sinks. Shit. It's like he's my dad. From Anastasia, no, you haven't seen Shouty yet. To Christian Gray. Yes, it is with Jack. I want to go. It's an exciting opportunity for me, and I've never been to New York. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Gray, no, you haven't seen Shouty yet. To Anastasia Steele, Anastasia, it's not my fucking knickers I'm worried about. The answer is no. Christian Gray. No? I shout at my computer, causing the entire office to come to the standstill and stare at me. Jack peers out from his office. Everything all right, Anna? Yes, sorry, I mutter. I just didn't save a document. I'm scarlet with embarrassment. He smiles at me, but with a puzzled expression. I take several deep breaths and quickly type a response. I am so mad. From Anastasia Still, subject 50 Shades, to Christian Gray. Christian, you need to get a grip. I am not going to sleep with Jack, not for all the tea in China. I love you. That's what happens when people love each other. They trust each other. I don't think you're going to sleep with, spank, fuck, or whip anyone else. I have faith and trust in you. Please extend the same courtesy to me. Anna. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. I sit waiting for his response. Nothing arrives. I call the airline and book a ticket for myself, ensuring I'm on the same flight as Jack. I hear the ping of a new email. From Lincoln, Elena, subject, lunch date, to Anastasia Steele. Dear Anastasia, I would really like to have lunch with you. I think we got off on the wrong foot, and I'd like to make that right. Are you free sometime this week? Elena Lincoln. Holy crap, not Mrs. Robinson. How the hell did she find out my email address? I put my head in my hands. Can this day get any worse? My phone rings, and I warily lift my head from my hands and answer, glancing at the clock. It's only 10:20, and already I wish I hadn't left Christian's bed. Jack Hyde's office. Anna Steele speaking. An achingly familiar voice snarls at me. Will you please delete the last email you sent me and try to be a little more circumspect in the language you use in your work email? I told you, the system is monitored. I will endeavor to do some damage limitation from here. He hangs up. Holy fuck. I sit staring at the phone. Christian hung up on me. That man is stopping all of my fledgling career, and he hangs up on me? I glare at the receiver, and as if it wasn't completely inanimate. I know it would shrivel in horror under my withering stare. I open my emails and delete the one I sent him. It's not that bad. I just mentioned spanking and, well, whipping. If he's so ashamed of it, he damn well shouldn't be. He damn well shouldn't do it. I pick up my BlackBerry and call his mobile. What? He snaps. I'm going to New York whether you like it or not. Don't count. I hang up, cutting him off mid-sentence. Adrenaline is coursing through my body. There. That told him. I am so mad. I take a deep breath, trying to compose myself. Closing my eyes, I imagine that I'm in my happy place. A boat cabin with Christian. I shake the image off, as I am too mad at 50 right now for him to be anywhere near my happy place. Opening my eyes, I calmly reach my notebook and carefully run through my to-do list. I take a long, deep breath, my equilibrium restored. Anna! Jack shouts, staring at me. Don't book that flight. Oh, too late. I've done it. I reply as he strides out of his office over to me. He looks mad. Look, there's something going on. For some reason, suddenly all travel and hotel expenses for staff have to be approved by senior management. This has come right from the top. I'm going up to see old Roach. Apparently a moratorium on all spending has just been implemented. I don't understand it. Jack pinches the bridge of his nose and closes his eyes. Most of the blood drains from my face, and knots form my stomach. 50. Take my calls. I'll go see what Roach has to say. He winks at me and strides off to see his boss, not the boss's boss. Damn it, Christian Grey. My blood starts to boil. From Anastasia Steele, subject, what have you done? To Christian Grey, please tell me you won't interfere with my work. I really want to go to this conference. I shouldn't have to ask. I have deleted the offending email. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Grey, subject, what have you done? To Anastasia Steele, I am just protecting what is mine. The email that you so rashly sent is wiped from the SIP server now, as are all my emails to you. Incidentally, I trust you implicitly. It's him I don't trust. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. I check to see if I still have his emails, and they have disappeared. This man's influence knows no bounds. How does he do this? Who does he know that he can stealthily delve into the depths of SIP servers and remove emails? I'm so out of my league here. From Anastasia Steele, subject, grown up. To Christian Grey, Christian, I don't need protecting from my own boss. He may make a pass at me, but I would say no. You cannot interfere. It's wrong and controlling on so many levels. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Grey, the answer is no. Anna, I have seen how effective you are fighting off unwanted attention. I remember that's how I had the pleasure of spending my first night with you. At least the photographer had feelings for you. This sleazeball, on the other hand, does not. He's a serial philanderer, and he will try to seduce you. Ask him what happened to his previous PA, and the one before that. I don't want to fight about this. If you want to go to New York, I'll take you. We can go this weekend. I have an apartment there. Christian Grey, CEO Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. Oh, Christian, that's not the point. He's so damn frustrating. And of course he has an apartment there. Where else does he own property? Trust him to bring up Jose. Will I ever live that down? I was drunk, for heaven's sakes. I wouldn't get drunk with Jack. I shake my head at the screen, but figure I cannot continue to argue with him over email. I will have to bide my time until this evening. I check the clock. Jack is not back from his meeting with Jerry, and I need to deal with Elena. I read her email again and decide that the best way to handle it is to send it up to Christian, let him concentrate on her rather than me. From Anastasia Steele, subject, forward lunch date or irritating baggage. To Christian Grey. Christian, while you have been busy interfering in my career and saving your ass from my careless missives, I received the following email from Mrs. Lincoln. I really don't want to meet with her. Even if I did, I'm not allowed to leave the building. How she got hold of my email address, I don't know. What would you suggest I do? Her email is below. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Grey, subject, irritating baggage. Don't be mad at me. I have your best interests at heart. If anything ever happened to you, I would never forgive myself. I'll deal with Mrs. Lincoln. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. From Anastasia Still. Subject, Laters. Can we please discuss this tonight? I'm trying to work, and your continued interference is very distracting. Anastasia Still, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. Jack returns after midday and tells me that New York is off for me, though he's still going, and there's nothing he can do to change senior management policy. He strides into the office, slamming the door. Obviously furious. Why is he so angry? Deep down, I know his intentions are less than honorable, but I'm sure I can deal with him, and I wonder what Christian knows about Jack's previous PAs. I park these thoughts and continue with some work, resolved to try to make Christian change his mind, though the prospects are bleak. At 1 o'clock, Jack pokes his head out of the door. Anna, please, could you go get some lunch for me? Sure, what would you like? Pastrami on rye, hold the mustard. I'll give you the money when you're back. Anything to drink? Coke, please. Thanks, Anna. He heads back to his office as I reach for my purse. Crap. I promised Christian I wouldn't go out. I sigh. He'll never know. I'll be quick. Claire from reception offers me her umbrella, since it's still pouring with rain. As I head out the front doors, I pull my jacket around me and take a furtive glance in both directions from beneath the overlarge golf umbrella. Nothing seems amiss. There's no sign of Ghost Girl. I march briskly, and I hope inconspicuously, down the block to the deli. However, the closer I get to the deli, the more I have a creepy feeling that I'm being watched. And I don't know if it's my heightened sense of paranoia or reality. Shit. I hope it's not Layla with a gun. It's just your imagination, my subconscious snaps. Who the hell would want to shoot you? Within 15 minutes, I am back safe and sound, but relieved. I think Christian's extreme paranoia and his overprotectiveness is beginning to get to me. As I take Jack's lunch into him, he glances up from his phone. Anna, thanks. So you're not coming with me. I'm going to need you to work late. We need to get these briefs ready. Hope you don't have plans. He smiles at me warmly. He smiles at me warmly, and I flush. No, that's fine, I say with a bright smile and a sinking heart. This is not going to go down well with Christian. He will freak, I'm sure. As I head back to my desk, I decide not to tell him immediately, otherwise he might have time to interfere in some way. I sit and eat my chicken salad sandwich Mrs. Jones has made for me. It's delicious. She makes a mean sandwich. Of course, if I moved in with Christian, she would make my lunch for me every weekday. The idea is unsettling. I've never had dreams of obscene wealth and all the trappings. Only love. To find someone who loves me and doesn't try to control my every move. The phone rings. Jack Hyde's office. You assured me you wouldn't go out, Christian interrupts me, his voice cold and hard. My heart sinks for the millionth time that day. Shit. How the hell does he know? Jack sent me out for some lunch. I couldn't say no. Are you having me watched? My scalp prickles at the notion. No wonder I felt so paranoid. Someone was watching me. The thought makes me angry. This is why I didn't want you to go back to work, Christian says. Christian, please. You're being so 50, so suffocating. Suffocating? He whispers, surprised. Yes, you have to stop this. I'll talk to you this evening. Unfortunately, I have to work late because I can't go to New York. Anastasia, I don't want to suffocate you, he says quietly. Well, you are, and I have to work. I'll talk to you later. I hang up feeling drained and vaguely depressed. After our wonderful weekend, the reality is hitting home. I have never felt more like running to some quiet retreat so I can think about this man, about how he is, and about how to deal with him. On one level, I know he's broken, and I can see that clearly now. And it's both heartbreaking and exhausting. From the small pieces of precious information he's given me about his life, I understand why. An unloved child, a hideously abusive environment, a mother who couldn't protect him, whom he couldn't protect, and died in front of him. I shudder. My poor 50. I am his, but not to be kept in some gilded cage. How am I going to make him see this? With a heavy heart, I drag one of the manuscripts Jack wants me to summarize in my lap and continue to read. I can think of no easy solution to Christian's fucked up control issues, and I just have to talk to him face to face later. A half hour later, Jack emails me a document that I need to tidy up, polish, and have ready to be printed in time for the conference. It will take me not just the rest of the afternoon, but well into the evening. I set up to work. When I look up, it's after 7, and the office is deserted, though the light is on in Jack's office. I hadn't noticed everyone leaving, but I'm nearly finished. I email this document back to Jack for his approval, and check my inbox. There's nothing new from Christian, so I quickly glance at my BlackBerry. It startles me by buzzing. It's Christian. Hi, I murmur. Hi, when do you finish? By 7:30, I think. I'll meet you outside. Okay. He sounds quiet, nervous even. Why? wary of my reaction. I'm still mad at you, but that's all, I whisper. We have a lot to talk about. I know. See you at 7:30. Jack comes out of his office. I have to go. See you later. I hang up. I look up at Jack as he strolls casually toward me. I need a couple of tweaks. I've emailed the brief back to you. He leans over me while I retrieve the document, rather closely and uncomfortably close. His arm brushes mine. Accidentally? I flinch, but he pretends not to notice. His other arm rests on the back of my chair, touching my back. I sit up so I'm not leaning against the backrest. Pages 16 and 23, and that should be it, he murmurs, his mouth inches from my ear. My skin crawls at his proximity, but I choose to ignore it. Opening the document, I shakily start on the changes. He's still leaning over me, and all my senses are hyper-aware. It's distracting and awkward, and inside I'm screaming, "Back off!" Once this is done, I'll be good to go. It'll be good to print. You can organize that tomorrow. Thank you for staying late and doing this, Anna. His voice is smooth, gentle, like he's talking to a wounded animal. My stomach twists. I think the least I could do is reward you with a quick drink. You deserve one. He tucks the strand of my hair that's come loose from my hair tie behind my ear and gently caresses the lobe. I cringe, gritting my teeth, and jerk my head away. Shit! Christian was right. Don't touch me. Actually, I can't this evening. Or any other evening, Jack. Just a quick one, he coaxes. No, I can't, but thank you. Jack sits on the end of my desk and frowns. Alarm bells sound loudly in my head. I am on my own in the office. I cannot leave. I glance nervously at the clock. Another 5 minutes before Christian is due. Anna, I think we would make a great team. I'm sorry that I couldn't pull off this trip to New York. It won't be the same without you. I'm sure it won't. I smile weakly up at him because I can't think of what to say, and for the first time all day I feel the tiniest hint of relief that I am not going. So did you have a good weekend? He asked smoothly. Yes, thank you. Where is he going with this? See your boyfriend? Yes. What does he do? Owns your ass. He's in business. That's interesting. What kind of business? Oh, he has fingers in all sorts of pies. Jack cocks his head to one side and leans in toward me, invading my personal space again. You're being very coy, Anna. Well, he's in telecommunications, manufacturing, and agriculture. Jack raises his eyebrows. So many things. Who does he work for? He works for himself. If you're happy with the document, I'd like to go, if that's okay. He leans back, my personal space safe again. Of course, sorry, I didn't mean to keep you, he says disingenuously. What time's the building close? Security is here until 11. Good. I smile, and my subconscious flops down in her armchair, relieved to know that we are not alone in the building. Switching off my computer, I grab my purse, stand up, and ready to leave. You like him then? Your boyfriend? I love him, I whisper, looking at Jack squarely in the eyes. I see. Jack frowns and he stands up from my desk. What's his surname? I flush. Gray. Christian Gray, I mumble. Jack's mouth drops open. Seattle's richest bachelor? That Christian Gray? Yes, the same. Yes, that Christian Gray, your future boss, who will have you for breakfast if you invade my personal space again. I thought he looked familiar, Jack says darkly, and his brow creases again. Well, he's a lucky man. I blink at him. What do I say to that? Have a good evening, Anna. Jack smiles, but the smile doesn't touch his eyes, and he walks stiffly back into his office without a backward glance. I let out a long sigh of relief. Well, that problem might be solved. 50 works his magic again. Just his name is my talisman, and it has this man retreating with his tail between his legs. I allow myself a small victorious smile. You see, Christian? Even your name protects me. You didn't have to go to all the trouble of clamping down on expenses. I tidy my desk and check my watch. Christian's to be outside. The Audi is parked by the sidewalk, and Taylor leaps out to open the rear passenger door. I have never been so pleased to see him, and I scramble in the car out of the rain. Christian is in the rear seat gazing at me, his eyes wide and wary. He's bracing himself for the anger, his jaw tight and tense. Hi, I murmur. Hi, he replies cautiously. He reaches over and grasps my hand, squeezing it tightly, and my heart thaws a little. I'm so confused. I haven't even worked out what I need to say to him. Are you still mad? He asks. I don't know, I murmur. He raises my hand and lightly grazes my knuckles with soft butterfly kisses. It's been a shitty day, he says. Yes, it has. But for the first time since he left for work this morning, I begin to relax. Just being in his company is a soothing balm. All the shit from Jack, and the snarky emails to and fro, and the nuisance that is Elena, fade into the background. It's just me and my control freak in the back of a car. It's better now that you're here, he murmurs. We sit in silence as Taylor weaves through the evening traffic, both of us brooding and contemplative. But I feel Christian slowly unwind beside me as he, too, relaxes, gently running his thumb across my knuckles in a soft, soothing rhythm. Taylor drops us outside the apartment building, and we both duck inside out of the rain. Christian clasps my hand as we wait for the elevator, his eyes scanning the front of the building. I take it you haven't found Layla. No, Welch is still looking for her, he mutters despondently. The elevator arrives, and we step in. Christian glances down at me, and his eyes unreadable. Oh, he just looks glorious. Tousled hair, white shirt, dark suit. And suddenly it's there from nowhere, that feeling, oh my, the longing, the lust, the electricity. If it were visible, it would be an intense blue aura around and between us. It's so strong. His lips part as he gazes at me. Do you feel it, he breathes? Yes. Oh, Anna. He groans and he grabs me, his arms snaking around me, one hand nape of my neck, tipping my head back as his lips find mine. My fingers are in his hair and caressing his cheek as he pushes me back against the elevator wall. I hate arguing with you, he breathes against my mouth. And there's a desperate, passionate quality to his kiss that mirrors mine. Desire explodes in my body, all the tension of the day seeking an outlet, straining against him, seeking more. We're all tongues and breathing and hands and touch and sweet, sweet sensation. His hand is on my hip, and abruptly he pulls up my skirt, his fingers stroking my thighs. Sweet Jesus, you're wearing stockings. He moans in appreciative awe as his thumb caresses the flesh above my stocking line. I want to see this. He breathes and he pulls my skirt right up, exposing the tops of my thighs. Stepping back, he reaches over to press the stop button, and the elevator coasts smoothly to a halt between the 22nd and 23rd floors. His eyes are dark, lips parted, and he's breathtakingly. He's breathing as hard as I am. We gaze at each other, not touching. I am grateful for the wall against my back, holding me up while I bask in this beautiful male's sensual carnal appraisal. Take your hair down, he orders, his voice husky. I reach up and undo the tie, releasing my hair so that it tumbles in a thick cloud around my shoulders to my breast. Undo the top 2 buttons of your shirt, he whispers, his eyes wilder now. He makes me feel so wanton. I reach up and undo each button achingly slow so that the tops of my breast are tantalizingly revealed. He swallows. Do you have any idea how alluring you look right now? Very deliberately, I bite my lip and shake my head. He closes his eyes briefly, and when he opens them, they are blazing. He steps forward and places his hands on the elevator walls on either side of my face. He's as close as he can without touching me. I tip my face up to meet his gaze, and he leans down and runs his nose against mine, so it's the only contact between us. I am so hot in the confines of the elevator with him. I want him, now. I think you do, Miss Steele. I think you like to drive me wild. Do I drive you wild? I whisper. In all things, Anastasia, you are a siren, a goddess. And he reaches for me, grasping my leg above my knee and hitching up around his waist so that I'm standing on one leg and leaning into him. I feel him against me. I feel him hard and wanting above the apex of my thighs as he runs his lips down my throat. I moan and wrap my arms around his neck. I'm going to take you now, he breathes, and I arch my back in response, pressing myself against him, eager for the friction. He groans deep and low in the back of his throat and boosts me higher as he undoes his fly. Hold tight, baby, he murmurs, and magically produces a foil packet that he holds in front of my mouth. I take it between my teeth, and he tugs, so that between us we rip it open. Good girl, he steps back in a fraction as he slides on the condom. God, I can't wait for the next 6 days. He growls and gazes down at me through his hooded eyes. I do hope you're not overly fond of these panties. He tears them with his adept fingers, and they disintegrate into his hands. My blood is pounding through my veins. I am panting with need. His words are intoxicating, all my angst from the day forgotten. It's just him and me doing what we do best. Without taking his hands off of mine, he slowly sinks into me. My body bows, and I tilt my head back, closing my eyes, relishing the feel of him inside me. He pulls back, and then moves into me again and again, so slow, so sweet. I groan. You're mine, Anastasia, he murmurs against my throat. Yes, yours. When will you accept that? I pant. He groans and starts to move, really move, and I surrender myself to his relentless rhythm, savoring each push and pull, his ragged breathing, his need for me, reflecting mine. It makes me feel powerful, strong, and desired, and loved by this captivating, complicated man, whom I love in return with all my heart. He pushes harder and harder, his breathing ragged, losing himself in me as I lose myself in him. "Oh, baby," Christian moans, his teeth grazing my jaw, and I come hard around him. He stills, clutches me, and follows suit, whispering my name. Now that Christian is spent, calm and kissing me, his breathing eases. He holds me tight against the elevator wall. Our foreheads press together, and my body is like jelly, weak but gratifyingly sated from my climax. "Oh, Anna," he murmurs, "I need you so much." He kisses my forehead. "And I you, Christian." Releasing me, he straightens my skirt and does up the top 2 buttons of my shirt, then punches the combination in the keypad that starts the elevator again. It rises with a jolt, so that I reach out and clasp his arms. "Taylor will be wondering where we are," he grins lasciviously at me. "Oh, crap." I drag my fingers through my hair in a vain attempt to combat the just fucked look, then give up and fasten into a ponytail. "You'll do," Christian smirks as he does up his fly and puts the condom in his pants pocket. Once more he looks the embodiment of the American entrepreneur, and since his hair has that just fucked look most of the time, there really is little difference. Except now he's smiling, relaxed, his eyes crinkling with boyish charm. Are all men this easily placated? Taylor is waiting when the doors open. "Problem with the elevator," Christian murmurs as we step out, and I cannot look at either of them in the face. I scurry through the double doors to Christian's bedroom in search of some fresh underwear. When I return, Christian has removed his jacket and is sitting in his breakfast bar, chatting with Mrs. Jones. She smiles kindly at me as she puts out 2 plates of hot food for us. It smells delicious, coq au vin, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm famished. "Enjoy, Mr. Gray, Anna," she says, and leads us to it. Christian fetches a bottle of white wine from the refrigerator, and as we sit and eat, he tells me about how much nearer he's getting to perfecting a solar-powered mobile phone. He's animated and excited about the whole project, and I know then he hasn't had an entirely shitty day. I ask him about his properties. He smirks, and turns out he only has apartments in New York, Aspen, and Escala. Nothing else. When we're done, I collect his plate and mine and take them to the sink. "Leave that. Gail would do it," he says, and I turn and gaze at him. He's watching me intently. Will I ever get used to having someone clean up after me? "Well, now that you're more docile, Miss Dill, shall we talk about today?" "I think you're the one who's more docile. I think I'm doing a good job in taming you." "Taming me?" he snorts, amused. When I nod, he frowns as if reflecting on my words. "Yes, maybe you are, Anastasia." "You were right about Jack," I murmured, serious now, and I lean across the kitchen island, gauging his reaction. Christian's face falls and his eyes harden. "Has he tried anything?" he whispers, his voice deadly cold. I shake my head to reassure him. "No, and he won't, Christian. I told him today that I was your girlfriend, and he backed right off." "You're sure?" "I could fire the little son of a bitch," Christian scowls. I sigh, emboldened by my glass of wine. "You have to let me fight my own battles. You can't constantly second-guess me and try to protect me. It's stifling, Christian. I'll never flourish with your incessant interference, and I need some freedom. I wouldn't dream of meddling in your business." He blinks at me. "I only want you safe, Anastasia. If anything ever happens to you, He stops. "I know, and I understand why you feel so driven to protect me, and part of me loves it. I know that if I need you, you'll be there, and I'm here for you. But if we have any hope of a future together, you have to trust me and trust my judgment. Yes, I'll get it wrong sometimes. I'll make mistakes, but I have to learn." He stares at me, his expression anxious, spurring me to walk around him so that I'm standing between his legs, while he sits on the bar stool. Grabbing his hands, I put them around me and place my hands on his arms. "You can't interfere in my job. It's wrong. I don't need you charging in like a white knight to save the day. I know you want to control everything, and I understand why, but you can't. It's an impossible goal. You have to let go." I reach up and stroke his face as he gazes at me. His eyes widen. "And if you can do that, give me that, I'll move in with you." I add softly. He inhales, sharply surprised. "You do that?" he whispers. "Yes." "But you don't know me." He frowns and sounds choked and panicky all of a sudden, very un-50. "I know you well enough, Christian. Nothing you tell me about yourself will frighten me away." I gently run my knuckles across his cheek. His expression turns from anxious to dubious. But if you could just ease up on me, I plead. I'm trying, Anastasia. I couldn't just stand by and let you go to New York with that sleazeball. He has an alarming reputation. None of his assistants has lasted more than 3 months, and they'll never retaliate. They're never retained by the company. I don't want that for you, baby, he sighs. I don't want anything to happen to you. You being hurt, the thought of it fills me with dread. I can't promise not to interfere. Not if I think you're coming to harm. He pauses and takes a deep breath. I love you, Anastasia. I will do everything in my power to protect you. I cannot imagine my life without you. Holy cow. My inner goddess, my subconscious, all gape at 50 in shock. 3 little words. My world stands still, tilts, then spins on its new axis. I savor the moment, gazing into his sincere, beautiful gray eyes. I love you too, Christian. I lean over and kiss him, and the kiss deepens. Entering unseen, Taylor clears his throat. Christian pulls back, gazing intently at me. He stands up, his arm around my waist. Yes, he snaps at Christian. Mrs. Lincoln's on her way up. What? Taylor shrugs apologetically. Christian sighs heavy and shakes his head. Well, this should be interesting, he mutters, and gives me a crooked grin of his resolution. Fuck. Why can't that damn woman just leave us alone? And that is the end of chapter 11. And I'll put it up on YouTube for you, and I'll send you an email letting you know so you can read it or listen to it on your way to work. Okay, have a great day, Marcela. Bye-bye.